We're here at Shaw's Crab House, and I'm with TV show host, cookbook author, restaurateur, and all-around wonderful guy, John Hash. How are you, John?
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Welcome to Chicago.
Thanks.
We are here at Shaw's Crab House, which might be evident by the bountiful array of seafood we've got here.
Aren't these great? I especially love the live crab.
Well, we've been actually torturing a little bit, so we've been having some fun.
Isn't this
they're so fresh.
You named this something. This is Bootsy or something? Or
well, this is John, and this is his Italian cousin, Giuseppe. So we're going to just put them up here for him. See how this is how fresh the food is at Shaw's. I don't know if you, but let's talk a little bit about your cookbook, which just won, let's see, Julia Child.
It's the IACP, which is sort of the most prestigious, I guess, of these organizations, the Julia Child Cookbook of the Year Award last year, actually. And this year, interestingly, it was won by a really terrific Chicago guy, Rick Bayless.
Oh, sure. He's done
a
great job.
Yeah.
I work with him on a lot of charities, a very generous fellow.
Yep.
The rumor that you always try to debunk is that wine and food is a complicated bedfellow.
Yeah, and it's a lot of hooey. Actually, that's what I'm doing in Chicago during these next 2 or 3 days. We're doing actually several events while I'm here, and one of them is a really fun one that we're going to do at Navy Pier tomorrow.
And that's free?
It's free, yeah. We encourage people to come from 11 until 1:30, 11:30 till 1:30. And it's to come, and we're just going to have fun. And what we're going to do is the theme of this in our attempt to try to, bring it together under some theme. We're calling it a spontaneous social sort of thing. And that whole idea about entertaining them at a moment's notice. We're going to have a lot of ideas there that people can walk away with, food ideas as well as wine ideas. We're also running nationally, which we hope everybody will enter, a wonderful contest about your biggest slip-up, when you have entertained at home. And we've actually already received some entries from around the country, and we've gotten some wonderful ideas for that. So you can sign up tomorrow and share those things with us.
I can tell you some great stories. We've got my director was with her boss, and they were eating not avocado, but artichoke leaves. She'd never had one. And she's chewing, and she's chewing, and she's chewing, and finally her boss said, "Do you want to spit that out?" So they just happen.
That's great. No, that's a good one. You should enter. We have to get you to enter.
I'll give you one more that happened to me. This happened to me. I was at Baba Riva in Chicago, and I was with Greg Lamaki, and he gave me some parsives, which are sort of little mussels, and they're like barnacles. I took a bite. It was a little chewy, and he said to me, "Dave, that's one way to eat it. Another way is to take the shell off first."
That's great.
So, Greg, if you're listening, I thank you. Now let's talk about. We've got some fish here, and I guess a bottle of Fetzer.
A bottle of Fetzer wine, which of course is the only wine that you should ever drink with fish.
All right.
No, I'm teasing. But it is part of this, and it's a big part of what I talk about in the book, and that we try to talk about in all these little events and things that we do about. Don't worry about it so much. I think a lot of times in restaurants, for example, and I'm teasing about this, I have to say, but I'm always encouraging people that, if one of those people approaches your table, has one of those things around their neck with a big chain and all that stuff, that it is your obligation to immediately shoot them. Because I think that that's done more to intimidate people about wine than almost anything I can imagine.
Where do I go? I've got all fresh fish here.
Yep.
It's still alive.
Yeah.
So now, what wine would I pick with this?
Well, the interesting...
Besides the one that tastes best to me.
Well, that's the most important thing. I think the rule number one is drink what you like, because, even though I might, go on and on to you about some dish that I've created that goes with a great red wine and blah, 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 if red wine gives you a headache, you're not going to drink it anyway. So the most important thing I think about any of these things are not so much that it's fish, therefore it has to be white wine. It is more, how do you prepare the fish? And any of these dishes could be prepared depending on how we season it and spice it to go with the red wine.
Sure.
Or to go with the white wine. So it really is, that's what that is all about. Actually, as I travel around the country, I get to do a lot of work with restaurants, and what I encourage them to do on their wine list is to do, to be more direct about helping guests who come to the restaurant make a choice. For example, if with this little sea bass here, to sort of say, gee, if I fixed it with a deep, rich, for example, mushroomy sauce or something like that, it could certainly go with a red wine. Tell me which red wine it would go along with it. If you have something like soft-shell crab, so typically they're sauteed very quickly or deep fried or something like that. Gosh, what might go wonderfully with that would be a sparkling wine. Could be absolutely delicious.
Something I've never done.
Yeah, it's great.
I've never done that.
It's really a great thing to do. So it's more in how it's prepared rather than the base ingredient. Don't worry so much that it's fish, therefore I have to have white wine with it. Instead, depending on how it's seasoned, how it's sauced, how that's all put together, you can have red wine, pink wine, sparkling wine, any of those will go well with it.
John Ash, you're in town for a few days, and you probably will see this after you've been here, but if anybody wants to go to John Ash and Company restaurant, tell them where it is.
Well,
phone number.
It's up in Sonoma County, north of San Francisco, up in God's country. It's called John Ash and Company, right outside Santa Rosa. And about 45 minutes on up there, I actually get to wear these two hats. I both have the restaurant and also I'm culinary director at Fetzer Vineyards, which is, as I say, another 45 minutes up there.
Premium product?
Yeah, it's a wonderful place to come. Both places are wonderful. Up at Fetzer, we have one of the world's most beautiful organic gardens that I cook out of. We offer cooking classes and all that stuff, so we encourage you to come.
If you really want to debunk the mystery, it is From the Earth to the Table by John Ash. I need an autograph.
Yeah, I'd be glad to give you one.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Well, that's great, thanks.
You're welcome, thanks.